UFC's Dana White joins Meta's board weeks before Trump takes office. Dana White is great. Longtime friend of President-elect Donald Trump, joining the board of Meta. Mark Zuckerberg said in a post that White has built the UFC into one of the most valuable, fastest growing, and most popular sports enterprises in the world. That is true. And they say John Elkin, the CEO of Italian holding company Exor and former Microsoft executive Charlie Songhurst are also joining Meta's board. This is massive. Dana White is a friend of Trump. He is a Trump supporter. He is on the board. This is going to have a massive positive impact.
He's twice as wide as Zucker.
Hey, man, Zuckerberg's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think Zuckerberg's a UFC fan.
This is
for sure.
best. So honestly, this is actually a great thing.
It looks like
I do jiu-jitsu. It's
still.
my hobby. And I can tell you that the majority of that environment, those people that come in there, they start very much like Zuckerberg does, right? Everyone wants to be a tough guy. You come in, you figure out that you get folded in 16 different ways, and you love it for some reason.
You realize that your cardio isn't as good as you thought your cardio was.
Exactly. And I think this could be a good thing for him. He is lining himself up with people who are probably centrists, populists, and he's going to learn a new way of life. I'm actually excited about this.
I mean, people are going to...
Zuckerberg started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, that's what he was training, right? Mm-hmm. It spiked his tetestosterone. His hair grew out.
Got a gold chain.
He did. But I really do
His
think
eyes became sentient again.
he's this scrawny tech bro. UFC becomes popular. He's got some friends who are like, let's watch the fight. He gets interested in it. He says, yeah, man, I want to do that. That looks fun. I'll get in shape. He starts training, starts building muscle mass, starts eating meat. Testosterone spikes, and now here he is putting Dana White on the board of Meta.
I mean, look, anything that could if he can be influenced by people like Dana White, I think that's a good thing. It's also like, I know that we're going to be all really critical of Facebook because of the way they behave for the past 10 years. But if this is another sign that Zuck is moving away from kind of being in bed with the government, I'd say good. Hopefully.
Their solution to the whole thing is, and I know just through people who still run businesses on Facebook related to news content, is they just were like, what's even the point of having political content on Facebook? So now news companies, the revenue on Facebook has just absolutely fallen through the floor because they no longer have they're just like, what's the point? The amount of moderation that it takes, the amount of headache that comes with, everything that happened with like the Hunter Biden laptop and all that. They're just like, well, why would we even monetize this? So let's just.
Well, I've been talking. So obviously, the new year is here, ad sales and all that stuff's happening. We've been talking to a bunch of companies, and we've often mentioned Facebook, which we underutilize. And the response from all the networks is nobody cares about Facebook.
Exactly.
There's no.
Exactly.
It's a dead network.
It's a boomer network.
It's boomer memes and basically like. I don't know, elevated Craigslist.
10 years ago, it was the king.
I know. I mean, Daily Caller, that was where we made most of our video revenue.
Well, you know what it was?
The boomer crack.
Facebook started banning the companies that made money doing it. They started going after people who figured out how to monetize the platform.
Exactly. You figure out the algorithm, and then they game it, and then you're all of a sudden like, okay, well, back to the drawing board.
Facebook ended itself.
Which is completely stupid. Like one of the things that people like about TikTok, not that I'm pro TikTok, but one of the things that people like about TikTok is TikTok tells you with great detail of how to expand your reach. This is what you need to do if you want to be and blah, blah, blah. And Facebook is like hides that information. They don't put your posts into feeds, and they do it on Instagram is where you see it mostly. But like it's like a big secret about how you can do stuff. And it's like, why are you making this difficult for people to use your platform in the way that they want to? Why aren't you? Everyone knows that TikTok is eating Facebook's lunch.
Yes.
Why is it that you're not doing that with your platform?
Because you have people in Silicon Valley who are completely detached from reality, and I know because I've dealt with those people running news business on Facebook. And
is it really that they're detached from reality?
We literally like.
Is that why? I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying you're wrong about them being detached.
Yes.
But is that why they don't think it's a good idea to let people know how to optimize?
Yeah, because they
their
think
reach
that
on
they can be the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain and get away with it. And we had a dude like come down, and obviously Daily Caller is viewed, founded by Tucker Carlson, viewed as just an absolute trash tabloid by these people from Menlo Park in Silicon Valley. So this guy comes in from Facebook. We're at the Facebook HQ, which is like the most beautiful building in downtown DC. And he literally comes in, puts his feet up on the table, and he's like, "So you guys, you live in D.C. You know what Congress is, right?" We're like, yeah. And he was the head of like standards and practices. He's like, "Well, think of me like the Congress of Facebook." Like as he puts his feet on the table, and we're like, "Is this a?" I mean, this is kind of a legit power play. If this guy is serious here, like it was just the degree to which they look down their nose at conservatives on the platform was astounding. And you know, it's at the same time, it's if you look at the top news outlets on Facebook every week, Daily Wire, it's all, you know, New York Times is like number 10. So it is overwhelmingly a conservative platform.
And they set themselves on fire.
Yeah.
Maybe with Dana White joining the board, he might be like, hey guys, stop getting involved like this and let companies succeed. Facebook's a really good example of overregulation destroying industry.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know how this is back to something we talked about earlier. I don't know how reliable this Twitter account is, but someone's it's at EXX Alerts is saying that Trump Jr. Says that Trump has a plan to buy Greenland. He has a deal worked up for the purchase of Greenland. So
should be interesting.
I don't know how.
But
Is it going to work out better than Atlantic City? I hope so.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, Atlantic City's got problems.
Have you read Art of the Deal?
Specifically, New Jersey.
It's like the entire second half of the book. He just spends bragging about his projects in Atlantic City and how successful they are.
Yeah, but you know what Atlantic City's problem is?
New Jersey.
Gambling is legal.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Dude,
Hey,
I bring this up all the time.
Hey.
We've got like 10 casinos within an hour and a half from where we are right now.
oh, you got a casino right here too.
On your phone even.
Yeah.
Sports betting, it's got nuts. So yeah, in like the 2000s, there was no gambling anywhere. There was Indian casinos, there was Vegas, and there was Atlantic City.
Florida's blowing up too.
Yeah.
They have video
oh, bro, in
arcades
Miami, there's like
everywhere.
25 casinos. It's nuts. So Atlantic City was a booming. And then all the states started legalizing gambling. And then people were like, I don't need to drive to Atlantic City anymore.
It doesn't count as a casino if you can't smoke inside, though, in my opinion.
Most of them
cigarettes?
abandoned.
I know Tim hates that. No, not
Oh,
unless I'm at a
bro, dude,
casino.
everybody hates it.
Not unless I'm at a $5 blackjack table. It's menthols all the
I
way,
can't get
baby.
people to go play the casino here because of the smoking.
Well, I'll go.
Sure.
Smoking.
But like,
Do they have a $5 table? Because I do $5 blackjack. No?
nope.
Oh, well.
15. 15 is the
Wow,
minimum.
that is way out of
They have a $5 promo table sometimes if you use their app or whatever, but I don't know if they have that anymore. But that place is like walking into it's smog. It's like walking into you're in Shenzhen. It's like just smoke everywhere. It's awful. You walk in for 5 minutes, you leave smelling like smoke.
Yeah.
And then the non-smoking section
old
only has slot machines. But the poker room's not smoking, so I play poker there.
God, I smoked for almost a decade, and I'm like 14 years quit now. I smoke a cigar like twice a year, New Year's and then July 4th.
Yeah, but cigars are different. You don't inhale those.
Yeah,
Exactly.
cigarettes definitely. You look back and you're like, oh man,
Dude, it is miserable. Like, so that's the only casino that allows smoking in the area, and they do it intentionally because they want to steal customers. Their attitude is like, if you go to MGM or Maryland Live or Horseshoe or what else we got out here? We got another Hollywood. If you go to any of those casinos, you can't smoke. But if you come to us, you can smoke.
I got a personal story. So my mother-in-law, and Susie, I'm sorry for sharing the story publicly, online, live. She used to smoke. She was like 35 years, smoked like a pack a day. And I can't stand the smell because I quit smoking. And the people who hate smoking the worst are the ones who used to smoke. So
I used to smoke. I miss it.
I had my second oldest ask her one time, when do you get the hole in your throat, Grandma? She quit like a week later. She's been quit
Level 20.
When it's like a 3-pack a day Newports, yeah.
Right.
But she's been quit smoking now for almost 10 years. She's got an app she tracks with the money she saved from quitting smoking. So proud of you, Sam. You did a good thing.
I'm not. You didn't do a good thing. Well, like if there's one like if a genie popped out of a magic lantern and said you can have one wish, be like Marlboros that don't give you cancer, bro. Taste the same, but they don't give me cancer. Give them to me.
Well, it's the activity, right? It's after you.
No,
eat,
it's the Marlboro,
after you shower,
dude.
It's the
No, it's the Marlboro. It's the cigarette. It's the nicotine.
My one wish for my genie is a cigarette that I can smoke in the shower. Waterproof
I want
cigarettes.
cigarettes that don't give you cancer. Marlboro Reds that don't give you cancer. That's what I want.
and a shower gun that fires even though it's soaking wet. Yeah.
I mean, that's most guns.
Anyway, back to the story. I do think trends like this and the shift, we're going to see a shift in social media, especially with this move, that is going to just vaporize what we know of as wokeness on the left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
People are sick of woke, you know? So
What's
So
the
then
woke right?
what do the Democrats become?
Angry.
well, I mean, like we see the fight in the U.S. or I'm sorry, in the Republican Party, but there's also a fight going on in the Democrat Party about whether it's the progressives or the Democrats, and people like Richie Torres is the Democrat that's trying to slide into that, actual.
Yeah.
Reasonable Democrat that's actually focusing on the working class and not about all the woke stuff, and so maybe that'll actually
They're going to rebrand, right? They're going to rebrand. They're in that season before midterms.
it's going to take more than just 4 years, but yeah,
Yeah.
because they still have to figure that the fight's going to go on for a while. Because woke there's a lot of people that make a whole lot of money off of racial animus and blah blah blah. People like Ibram X Kendi and stuff like that. They make a whole lot of money off
Pastor
of that.
Ben, yeah.
So they're gonna fight to keep that to be the focus, and it's going to take a little time.
My concern is I believe they really are ideologues, though. They actually believed everything they said. They want that. They just didn't get it through this time.
I think you're right, and like Tim's idea of woke is the average kind of like person that is just listening to them. There is a small group of people that are ideologically motivated, but then the most of the people that you would consider woke don't have
they're
any
just
kind
normies who don't
they don't have any kind of allegiance to an ideology. They're just doing what is politically correct.
Well, maybe they have their own
let's-
populist movement, right? Woke ideology. Now we're having ours.
So I will take this time to give you the definition of woke. There are many people who have tried to define it, and they all do it from a particularly myopic view. And I try to understand woke from every possible, like, what is the unifying factor of why this person and this person over here see this thing and say it's woke? This person over here says it's critical theory. This person over here says it's gay stuff. And I'm like, whoa, what's the overarching pattern?
Postmodernism.
It's not. It's cult-like adherence to liberal social orthodoxy.
But what is so
War
that
with
seems like
Ukraine.
that
War with
seems like
Ukraine is not postmodernism.
No, but when you say liberal orthodoxy, that
Yes.
seems to me to be an oxymoron because the definition of the word liberal would
Liberal,
imply that it's
big
not
L,
an orthodoxy.
big L liberal.
Yeah.
It's a reference to a political faction of individuals that unify around one political faction that we view as what liberal is. It's not the actual word liberal. In America. Progressive and liberal have meanings, but there's colloquial understanding of what the words mean. So when we say liberal and conservative, we're not literally saying the true definition of a conservative who's conserving what traditional values. And when we say liberal, we don't talk about classical liberals. That's why we define classical liberal as classical liberal. So you can call it leftist or you can call it politically left social orthodoxy, but that's why you can have pro-Ukraine war, pro-feminist,
just makes
anti-Israel. None of it makes sense other than they must be unified around what their social order says. The best example of this is the Jaguar commercial. Jaguar, you see I said it? Where
Jaguar.
That commercial came out and was called Woke by everybody. But there's zero politics in it. It's literally just goofy-looking art people. Why do they call it woke? Because it represents the cultural aesthetic of the left, of liberalism, postmodernist art.
Yeah.
So when they say, James Lindsay says, he says nothing is more woke than critical theory. And I'm like, that Jaguar commercial had nothing to do with critical theory. It simply donned the aesthetic of liberals and it was deemed woke. So when people say woke, they're referring to the liberal orthodoxy. And then when we criticize wokeness, there's an illogical adherence to these ideas that make no sense. Hence, when I mentioned that movie earlier, Blink Twice, and the woman says, we can't call the police because white men won't believe women. And we scream, believe women, but they won't listen to us. You go, that's not correct. That is illogical, and you are fervently adhering to the social concepts, the orthodoxy, despite it being false.
But don't you think that
Real quick, sorry. This is why Blair White, who is trans, is not woke, despite being transgender. That's critical gender theory. Jimmy Dore, a socialist, is not woke. But what do you mean? He adheres to critical theory because they defy the orthodoxy. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.